Welcome to the Snow and Ice Festival in Harbin. That is a snow stick. Hello everyone, this is Danielle here again for another video about language and culture. So in today's video I am going to specifically focus on the Harbin Snow and Ice Festival. It happens every single year in Harbin, China. Full disclosure, I am not in Harbin right now. I am in New Jersey. We're having our own snowstorm. It's just like snowing and it just keeps snowing. But yeah, I'm here in New Jersey stuck in quarantine. But back in 2018, I did go to Harbin, China to visit the Snow and Ice Festival. It's one of the largest snow festivals in the world. There are a few other ones, like I think in Canada and Japan, and I think somewhere in Scandinavia, like Norway, they have a big one too. China's is pretty impressive. From what I've read, they have the largest ice sculptures and snow sculptures of anywhere in the world. So I had first heard about the Snow and Ice Festival from one of my students. Her name is Angel. That is her real pseudonym, by the way. She does go by Angel. I'm probably mispronouncing it though. So anyway, Angel was telling me about her city, and I was like, you know, why do people come and visit your city? She told me about this festival, and I Googled it, and I was like, oh my God, like, how have I never heard about this? How come, like, nobody I know who loves to travel talks about it? So as soon as I heard about it, I knew I had to go at some point. And then her parents got pretty persistent at inviting me to come and visit them. I'm gonna do a little walk here, hopefully I'm okay on this fresh snow here in our yard. So yeah, they were pretty persistent in inviting me to visit them in Harbin. So I thought, this is like the opportunity to do it. Like, I have some locals who really want me to come and they will show me around. I should definitely do it now. So I went to Harbin in January 2018. I started planning the trip a couple months before that because you do need a lot of good gear to manage that cold climate. I did some research, and I think the average winter temperatures are minus 16.8 degrees Celsius, which is like 1 or 2 degrees Fahrenheit. So that, if that's the average during the day, you can just imagine how cold it gets over there. And when you go, you're like in this kind of an atmosphere all the time, you know, and when you go to the festival, you're outside. So you're going to be spending hours out there. So, like, I was buying all my gear from Thailand because that's where I was living at the time, and I was able to do it. You're going to need a lot of long underwear, a really heavy coat. One thing I really liked was the coat that I bought. The company that sold it tells you the temperatures the coat is good for. So make sure you get a coat that is made for that level of cold, okay? That amount of cold, even a little bit colder if you tend to get really cold yourself. Can't remember if I mentioned it. Long underwear, absolutely. Layers, layers, layers. One thing that's cool about when you visit the places in Harbin where all the snow and ice sculptures are, you do have a lot of little like makeshift cafes and restaurants that they have. They're not like really sturdy buildings. They're definitely things that can be put up and taken down pretty easily, but they are warm. You won't need to be wearing your coat inside of those. So you can pop into these places, like say every half hour or hour, to warm up if you need to, which you probably will. I also highly recommend getting like hand warmers. I bought a bunch of those. I got the ones that were sticky too, and I stuck them to different parts of my body, like on top of my sweater, and then had my coat on top of that. So that was a really good way to hold in more heat throughout the day, because you will be walking outside a lot for many hours. So what I did was, during the daytime I went and saw the snow sculptures, and then at nighttime I went to see the ice sculptures. So you should see this neighborhood, by the way. Like, it looks really pretty in the snow. Hopefully you get a good view. So yeah, so the snow sculptures during the day, they're enormous. I think it's on a place called Sun Island, and on Sun Island they have sculptures like bigger than these houses, like lots of them bigger than these houses in this neighborhood. Like, you could probably put 3 or 4 of these houses together lengthwise and then double the height of them, and that would be like how tall some of these snow sculptures are, rather. And then there are a lot of smaller snow sculptures, but they're still very big. Like, they're going to be at least the size of a car or an SUV, and they have people from all over the world who come to Harbin to carve into the snow sculptures, and then they have competitions, and they're really intricate, detailed designs. So I was really impressed with the artistry of that. So you'll spend like a day doing that during the day when the sun is up. Give it at least a few hours, and then what you can do at nighttime, say late afternoon, early evening, you can head over to where the ice sculptures are. Now, this is an enormous piece of land. Like, it's like a little theme park, and they take ice from the Songhua River, which is the river that goes through Harbin, and they pay farmers to, once the river's frozen, to carve out huge blocks of ice from the river and haul them out. And then they use these enormous blocks of ice to build the sculptures and the buildings. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, some of these sculptures, I keep calling them sculptures, they're buildings. Like, they're as tall as like a 15-story building. So they're, from what I've read, they're some of the tallest, if not the tallest, igloos, so to speak, in the world. Going at night, I think, is better than going during the day. You can go during the day. It is impressive during the day. I saw it like from the street during the day, but at night they're all illuminated. So when they're illuminated, they are like multicolored, like different neon colors. It's super cool. It's like a winter wonderland that you probably never imagined on your own, but once you see it, you're just like, this is so cool. And you're like, you feel like a kid. I don't care how old you are, you will feel like a kid. And what I really loved is, by and large, most of the tourists who are there are going to be from mainland China. You do get some international tourists, but it just still seems kind of like under the radar in the Western world, and it really shouldn't be, in my opinion. But anyway, you got a ton of Chinese tourists from mainland China, and they just are like kids in a candy store at this place. There's so many little fun activities to do there. Like, they built really big ice slides, so you can climb up and slide down this huge ice slide. They have bicycles that you can ride on the ice there. I didn't try it. I'm like really nervous on ice, but plenty of other people were doing it. You can go ice skating. I'll slip a video in here of me like pushing this huge tree trunk into a gong and like ringing the thing. Yeah. You know, there's just lots of little things you can do there. Again, you'll be there several hours during the evening. It'll be dark, but it's well lit with all those lights illuminating the ice. And they've got all these, like I said, little restaurants and cafes in there. So whenever you're too cold and you just need to warm up, just go into one of those places. I did it pretty frequently. And I'm sure you will have a really fun time there. So I highly suggest it. Obviously this year I am not going because of COVID, but I do hope to get back there at some point in the future. Not just because it's cool, but because it's like one of the coolest places I've ever been. I am not kidding when I say I am just so impressed with what they've been able to pull off, because this thing has to be rebuilt every year. Every single year they build it and then it melts in the spring, and it's an annual thing. Like, people have to plan the designs because it's not like the same exact snow sculptures and ice buildings are made every year. They redesign it. So some stuff might be repeated, but a lot of stuff will be reimagined. And then every fall, the farmers have to dig these enormous ice blocks, like the size of a car, like the size of that car. They dig that out of the river, and then they drag it out, and then other people have to haul it to then make these buildings and these sculptures. Also, they have a lot of people coming in from overseas to participate in ice sculpture competitions as well. It's just super impressive. One of my favorite things that I saw there was something I didn't even expect, which was they had bouquets of flowers that they froze in the ice. And then there was like sort of like the length of half a city block. It's just like one after another of these ice blocks with bouquets of flowers in them. I'll throw in some pictures so you can see. That was probably my favorite thing to see there. You know, lots of fun things for kids to do. Like, they have dog sled. Mushers, you know, so you could sit in a little dog sled and have the dogs pull you. They also have horse-drawn ones as well. I had never seen that in real life. Like, I went to Alaska, but it was summertime when I went, so I saw the dogs, you know, but I didn't see them pulling any sleds, but I got to see it there in Harbin. So, you know, depending on your cold tolerance, you might want to spread this over a few days. But if you can manage to stay out for a whole day, you could probably do everything in one day. Okay, so I'm gonna go back inside because it's getting pretty chilly and I don't have any gloves on so I could hold this thing. But please let me know if you have any questions about the Snow and Ice Festival in Harbin. I'll answer whatever I know. And I hope you get to go there. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. If you have comments, leave them below. And you can always subscribe to hear more videos I have about all kinds of things related to language and culture, including travel. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.